I'm a biologist, and part of my job involves field surveys on old private properties in the middle of nowhere. Most of the time, it's exactly what you'd expect: overgrown fields, abandoned fences, mosquitoes, mud, and thick woods that feel like no one has stepped through them in years. But one survey changed the way I feel about those places forever. We were working deep inside a wooded wetland, far from any road, when we found him. A body, face up in a shallow stream. The water was moving slowly around him, almost gently, like it had been doing that for months. Judging by the condition of the remains, he had been there for a long time. There were no clothes nearby, no bag, no tools, no shelter, nothing that explained who he was, where he came from, or why he had ended up in a place that remote. We called the police, and the strange part was how quickly they seemed to know who it probably was. They told us there had been a missing person case in the area. A man had abandoned his car not far from there, near a rail crossing. They had searched for weeks with dogs, horses, ATVs, and search teams, but found nothing. No footprints, no clothing, no sign of him at all. Just his family car left behind with the doors still open. Inside the car, they found cash and a handgun. The police said it looked like he had been running from something or someone. They didn't know if the threat was real or only real to him. But whatever he believed was chasing him, it scared him badly enough that he didn't even stop to close his car door. He just got out and ran straight into the woods. Later, about 30 yards upstream from where we found the body, I found his clothes, and that was the part that bothered me the most. They weren't scattered. They weren't torn off. They weren't lost in panic. They were arranged. His pants had been neatly folded and placed on top of a pair of brown loafers. His underwear and socks were stacked on top of the pants. His glasses were placed carefully on the socks. Everything was in a clean, deliberate little pile. His shirt and undershirt were hanging from a tree branch above them, almost like he had put them there to dry. That image has stayed with me, because this man had apparently fled his home, driven for hours, abandoned his car with cash and a gun inside, and then fought his way nearly a mile through briars, mud, and dense wetland. He was scared enough to run into the wilderness with no plan, scared enough to disappear where search dogs couldn't find him. But then, at some point, beside that stream, he stopped and carefully folded his clothes. He placed his shoes neatly under them. He set his glasses on top like he expected to come back. Then he walked into the water. I still think about it more than I should, not just because we found him, but because of how calm that final scene looked. Like whatever fear had driven him into those woods had suddenly disappeared. Or worse, like by the time he reached the stream, he wasn't running anymore. He was obeying. I've searched for his name every now and then, hoping to find an article, a report, anything that explains what happened to him. But I never find more than fragments. No clear answer, no explanation. Just the memory of that stream, that folded pile of clothes, and the feeling that something in those woods waited until he was far enough from the road before it finally told him what to do.